sport of paintball is that adrenaline rush, that extreme sport without having to go to extremes to play it. It is not gender biased. It does not require a lot of physical effort. It really truly is a thinking game. Every individual has a different reason why they're here, but it's pretty much just to have a good time.
I think it's great. It's lots of fun, moving around, a lot of action.
It's a lot of fun. It's good exercise, and it's hard.
It's much more enjoyable than I thought it was going to be. I really didn't know what to expect, and it's amazing how quickly you get into the game, how much fun it is once you start playing it. All shapes and sizes, all social economic levels, different professions, you name it. It's just, it's America. That's who plays paintball.
Go to the game! Go, go, go! Go, go! Sorry about that.
At Borderland, we have probably about anywhere from 10 to 15,000 people during the course of a year. My job is to run Borderland Paintball Park, keep it running smoothly, make sure the guests have a good time, make sure everybody plays safely and everybody comes in with a smile and leaves with a smile. That simple. All family members can play. It really truly is a thinking game, and it's a game to just enjoy, to have a good time at. And it's a fun thing for a family to do it. It really bonds them together. You'll find that you'll have a father and son, a teenage son, that just through the course of the day before we start playing can see that they have nothing in common. A typical teenage and parent relationship. Through the midday, they're laughing, they're joking, they're telling each other what they did, they helped each other out. That's a joy. That's the joy part of the business, is seeing that.
Two basic concerns we have out here, safety and having fun. On the guidelines of safety, it's your goggles, your barrel plug. Everywhere on the other side of that screen out there, you will have your goggles on. You will not pass that screen without your goggles on. Unless we are actually in a game or you're at the target range, you will keep the barrel plugs in the gun. Before each game, we'll give you a 20-second warning. That's when you pull your barrel plugs out, stick it deep in your pocket. 20 seconds later, we'll tell you to start the game. It's time to go get the flag and throw some paint. 20 seconds, players, pull your plugs. Field 3, start the game. Go, 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 go! Go, 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 go!
This where you gonna hang out?
The nature of the sport brings you together because you're trying to achieve a common goal, and you need each other to do it. So those individuals that normally would not come into contact with each other do so on a playing field, and quite a few of them become close friends.
It's the beauty of the game, I think, is that you can All ages apparently can play. And certainly my buddy here saved me, covered my flank, I guess they call it in the game, and we had a great time. As you can see, it transcends ages, transcends just about everything, so everybody can have a good time.
I'm 25.
8 years old.
15? I'm 14. I'll be 15 June 14th.
Oh, I'm 13.
14, and I'm 11.
This is my first time playing paintball.
This is my first time.
Just this is the first time.
My first time as well, first time playing.
This is my second time. I did it about 2 years ago for my birthday.
Second, twice, 2 times.
I've done it twice. I love it.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
A paintball expert.
The Ironmen attend 5 national tournaments a year, and we do some overseas events. And to prepare for that, we practice probably 3 or 4 weekends before the tournament. We'll have practices like we're out here today, practicing, working on things we need to work on, try and improve ourselves, and just get ourselves focused for the tournament. As if you're looking at any professional sport, if you have the commitment and the desire to win, you've got pretty much what it takes. You know, you just keep working at it, and you've got what it takes to do well, and that's as individuals and as a team as a whole.
All players that play professionally have other jobs. They cannot survive on the winnings of a paintball tournament. Again, it's bragging rights. It's professional bragging rights.
At first it was a monetary investment. You sacrifice a lot of money in the beginning. You know, you're spending, especially not making any money practically. You know, you sacrifice whatever nice car you wanted to buy, spending money on women, you know, stuff like that.
About 15 jobs. Never really getting a career going. Didn't get married till I was 33, which was a year ago. 32 because of paintball. I played every weekend for 6 years. And I think I did skip Christmas, but
I love my teammates. In fact, this is a World Championship paintball team. I've been growing up and looking at these guys in magazines for a long time, and through hard work and dedication and playing at my fields every weekend, I finally got a chance to play on a team that I've always admired.
pretty good guys.
Let's go, Iron! Let's get it! Let's go! Right now!
On 3, Iron. 1, 2, 3.
Iron! Get out of the tree!
We're at a level in the game where, yeah, everyone can hone their technique a little bit more, maybe how to play a bunker, how you run with your gun, you know, shooting, all that stuff. But when you get to this level of the game, it's a lot mental, and that's the really cool thing about playing on this team, playing for these guys, is that you really get that whole like Ironman view of things, that whole pro view of things, the whole thing they bring to the game is that mental aspect.
A lot of them are really new, got a lot of potential, but a lot to learn.
Great Marty Bush is 33 years old, which means he got me by a decade plus. Marty's a character, in a word. He's a crazy guy, just likes to have a good time, but funny as hell.
Before the game, after the game, I don't think there's any more relaxed a person than I am. But when the game goes, I'm ready to roll.
The best player in the world, I would say, would probably come down to about 3 or 4 guys that are just right in their prime in paintball.
I've won every tournament there is to win in the world. 5-time world champion, 4-time 10-man world champion. I won the world one-on-one championships in England. I would say that probably Marty's one of those guys, and there's a couple other names I could mention from other teams, but there's not many of them. You know, that's the pinnacle of paintball and the professional aspect. It's really a kind of a lifelong commitment. You have to expect everything from yourself, and you can't slack. You start slacking, you start sliding, you lose respect. Ego keeps me going, and respect. I require people to respect me. You don't gotta like me. You can dislike me. I like that. I want you to try to shoot me. That is the key. I thrive on that. The most important thing you can learn is teamwork, working with the other people around you. You can do so much more. 2 guys can mow through 3 or 4 guys where 1 guy can maybe shoot 1 or 2. You can't cover the right, the left, and the center all at the same time. So if you can designate to 1 guy, okay, you cover the right, I'll cover the left. Anybody runs down the left, tries to shoot you, I'll take them out. You're getting good teamwork, and the more teamwork you have, the better chances you have of winning. If you can spend 15, 20, 30 minutes before you go out and play on a field and kind of walk the field and figure out where you're going to go and kind of where they're going to be at, you will increase shooting players tenfold. It's probably the most important thing that you can do as a player to help improve your game.
Where are you guys going?
We're going to work up through the dirt mounds, try to get up into the middle more.
I'm back
cross shoot the left and the right.
Where are you going, Brad?
I'm just going to sweep back here and try to keep the communication flowing from left tape to the right tape.
Okay, so I'll be talking to you mainly most of the time.
Okay.
All right, you guys ready? Okay, what I'm thinking now that we get to this bunker here, most important thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you looking over the top, because you'll be able to see everyone and everyone will be able to see you and you'll be like a magnet. Here it comes. You have to come over the top. Say you hear a crawler, somebody calls and tells you there's a crawler right in front of you. When you come over the top of this, you're going to need to come over real slow. You want to pick as much cover as you can. And what you want to do is you just bring your head up just enough so you can see through the weeds. And don't move your head, because the thing is you always see movement. And if you're moving your head back side to side, you're going to get shot. Okay, so you just roll down, you get your gun up, come right back up, make the shot on the guy. Then get down before anybody else can see you. Nobody down the field can see you because you're behind the bunker. So you eliminate probably 75% of the people. Now you can work on 20% of the people. If you have to switch sides, let the person behind you know that you're going to switch sides, so he'll cover this angle and you can cover that side. Try not to move a lot. Pick 1 guy. Always start at the far right tape. If you don't see anything, move your head out a little bit further. Keep looking until you see something. As soon as you see it, that's the guy you're going to work on. Wait until you get about 50-60% chance and then start letting him have it. As soon as he returns fire, don't trade with him. Roll back in. You can sit here just like this all day long. You come back out again. So you're always limiting how easy it is for you to get shot. You don't want to get shot, obviously. You want to shoot people. So always use your cover. You can't just run places and dive in because people see you. You have to use some stealth. What you try to do is you try to crawl to places and you use as much cover as you can between you and the guys that are looking for you. Most people crawl, they kind of have their butt up in the air and their heads down. They think since their head's down in the weeds that no one can see them. Well, their butt's a foot behind them, following them. So always make sure you're as flat as possible. Always think of your extremities. Where are my feet at? Where's my harness? Where's my gun? You want to lay your gun right down on its side in front of you because you don't want the hopper sticking up. It's really important to use your ears. It's a lot more important than your vision, because when you're popping your head up, you're letting them know where you're at. Be quiet, have patience. It might take you 10 minutes to go 5 feet. If you're in a 30-minute game, that 5 feet might be the most important 5 feet that you can crawl, because you get into a spot, they have no clue where you're at. You come up, you take 2 or 3 guys, cracks the whole game wide open. People who think and cover all the angles the most win.
I didn't think there was much tactics. I thought I would just go out there and start shooting, but I find that the game was all tactics. In fact, the folks that had some sort of a plan were the ones that won, that were able to get the flag.
Paintball is actually about 50 acres of chess. You have the king being the flag, which is what you want to get. You have pawns out there, the players. You have your knights, your rooks that are the more experienced players. You have to strategize your moves prior to the beginning of the game, try to execute those moves as you would in chess, make adjustments to counter moves as you would in chess. Again, very, very much like a large chessboard.
saw he was shooting to the right of me. And so I went to the left, just stood up, shot him right between the eyes. Come on, I did.
Well, real bullets and paintballs are really, really different. We hide behind trees, which a bullet would obviously go through. So, I mean, we would get.
I'd hide. I'd go to Canada.
Yeah.
I'd be in Canada. I'd be done. I'd be playing paintball in Canada.
Yeah. Initially, paintball, I think, got a bad rap. It was considered to be like the quote war game and kind of crazies running around. But as the whole sport and the industry grows, it seems that it's taking on a new image and it's getting a lot better publicity. What I think that it really deserves, and it's becoming more of a family sport. I see. I mean, I've been watching it now since the beginning, and that's great to see because that's really what paintball's about.
Safety is extremely important. It is the essence of the game. You're shooting a paintball out of an air gun at around 200 miles an hour. Obviously, in any type of extreme sport, there is danger involved. And unless safety is held to a high standard, people can get hurt. And that's the difference between possibly a few years ago and now, is that the industry has risen to the task of creating safety equipment that is adaptable for all shapes and forms, men and women, and the equipment that is used today is much more sophisticated than it was in the early days of paintball, and it is an extremely safe sport. Statistically, it is safer than golf, it is safer than badminton, it is safer than tennis.
What do you guys think of all the equipment you get to wear? What do you think of those masks?
They're cool. They kick butt. They're like light.
What do you feel like when you're wearing them?
Sweaty. Like a soldier. I'm a man. My favorite part is the gun. I know.
There's pretty much 3 types of gun nowadays. There's the old pump gun, there's a semi-automatic gun, and there's all the new modern electronic guns. First gun I ever played with was a pump gun. It's more reliable, it's a little more accurate, but you can't crawl with it. There's so many limitations with playing with it. Then they came out with a semi-automatic paintball gun, and it changed the game. It revolutionized it. It made an average player a great player, and it allowed them to be able to hold off people by massive volume, massive fire. Fast you pull the trigger, you get pain out of it. The electronic guns have done the same thing that a semi did to the pump gun. Is their rate of fire is so much faster, but it's all reliability. The more rate of fire, pretty much the less reliable a gun is. The pump gun is still the most reliable gun there is. Nowadays, they've gone to compressed air. Tanks range from 3,000 psi to 4,500 psi. The problem that you have with the compressed air is it's not a gas or a liquid that expands to a gas like CO2, so you need more pounds per square inch in the same size container. We're able to get up to about 1,700 rounds out of a 4,500 psi middle of the road bottle. Paintball is your best friend or your worst nightmare. Temperature, humidity, all these things affect a paintball. If it's dead on, it's your dream because every ball goes in the same spot. Good paint is the most important thing you can hit. The loader, that's what holds the balls. They're all gravity fed. We're not allowed to use springs or anything like that. A standard loader, you get about 250 balls in there. I would say that a barrel can increase your gun's effectiveness between 10 and 15%, depending upon what barrel you put on your gun.